Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bhairav Show. Hello, Lukas and Florian. Welcome to the Bhairav Show. I have Lukas with me as well as Florian, who are the founders of schnellstart.ai based in Switzerland. They are one of the pioneers of AI transformation for Swiss SMEs in Switzerland. They cover multiple industries and help companies onboard AI technologies and workflows to save time and increase revenue. Lucas and Florian, it would be great if you can introduce yourselves on the show.
So a big thank you from my side for inviting us. It's very interesting to be here. As you've said, Lukas and me, we founded Schnellstart 1.5 years ago. And since then, we've seen a lot of industries. We've worked with them. We've done like the AI adoption from the beginning to the end. And so we are currently working on that. To my person, I'm the one with the technical background. Lucas is more from the accounting side, finance. That's why we combine those two skill sets. And my background is classical computer science from the pre-ChatGPT AI era. So I was still used to arrange the NumPy arrays without ChatGPT, but I've also seen the benefit. And now we're currently working with several SMEs. As you might know, Switzerland is full of SMEs, so small enterprises with 10, 50 people. And if they ask us, we go there, we explain them AI, we find some use case, we implement them, we make like proof of concept, and then we start transforming those companies with AI. So, Lucas, what do you have to add?
Yeah, thank you. Definitely the part I can repeat again with the finance, that's my part. But usually my role is like to be the first entry point for the SMEs when they have problems now. Like I'm the guy that's staying on the front and help them to understand the problems and which they bring in. First looking at the process. And yeah, for me, since I come from finance, I often look at the very measurable part of the outcome. Like I like to see the ROI of it. And currently, I'm doing a bachelor in AI business consulting, which is like the first one in Switzerland that's releasing. And so I combine then finance with this being like the first entry point for SMEs that bring AI problems with it. That's like a bit to my background, finance, and yeah, to our new future. Thank you for inviting.
Thanks a lot, Florian, and thanks a lot, Lucas, for introducing yourselves. And let's begin the actual discussion. So, with the ChatGPT era in place now, along with cloud coding and rapid prototyping, so a lot of companies are embracing AI, but within the European dark region, how mature is the AI adoption, especially among Swiss SMEs? Are companies still exploring them, experimenting them, or are they actually sort of they've started implementing it?
I think the maturity, I would question is on two ends. First, like with pretty like basic AI, I mean, they are experimenting with that. There are a lot of people who found like little pieces of their daily work and where they used to gather information or process it in a manual way, and they start experimenting. Oh, if I do that with ChatGPT, I need to tell him do me the right format, and then I copy paste it. Of course, that's going on
Hmm.
in all those companies. But a little bit further, I mean, as we know, AI adoption is not only ChatGPT, it's not only using a chatbot, it's really deeper engraved. That's what we tell them. And there, the picture is a little bit different, I would say. It's also a lot of those companies, their daily work uses a lot of resources. So they're really occupied with like sales, marketing, production, procurement, finance, all those topics. It's a lot to cover with, for example, 20 people. And in that busyness or in that noise, seeing like, oh, I take myself now a day and I try to examine what is our use case or where could we use it. which processes, which daily tasks do we do on a regular basis. On that picture, I would say is not so far. So I would say they're experimenting with it and really like in the little bricks that is possible in their daily noise. But overall, like they're interested, of course. But if they come, it's not like, wow, we've already been experimenting. We have one workflow in place that is going end to end, doing processing anything. It's more like, oh, we started and we have some chat GPT, but we still have a lot of manual tasks and we start from there. So I would say it's not so far as you might think in the first second.
Okay. You mentioned you're a bit skeptical in terms of the overall adoption. Do you think the biggest barriers holding these Swiss companies are around lack of skills or data quality or privacy of the PII data, or do you see employee resistance? Are employees scared that AI is going to take their jobs?
Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit hesitant with saying, oh, they're good with AI adoption because of what we've seen when they come. We still see like papers being handed around. And I mean, AI is a big gap. First comes digitalization and so on. I would say it's a mixture of those factors. Of course, its privacy is a little bit hesitant sometimes. Oh, we use personal data, especially if it's finance, for example, or like proprietary, if they have some patents, whatever. You don't want to put everything because a lot of people have read those stories where they see, oh, a coder pasted something into the cloud and now it's out, their data. So this is especially something. And I would say it's a mixture. It's a mixture between a little bit of respect, but also the lack of skill. Maybe you have some administration people that are used to the way of doing it, but not actively expanding their knowledge to do it with AI. And the data is fragmented on different places, maybe even on paper, whatever. And so I would say it's a mixture that we see. There's no clear one point that says, okay, if we fix that, we can do it. So our work first is not only the AI adoption, it's really, okay, where do we have to adjust something to get the AI
Okay.
adoption going?
Okay. And you have worked with hundreds of companies within the Swiss region. And when they first approach you, what do they ask? Like, do they just need AI, or do they specifically know, okay, this is the department that they need to streamline? So how is it? How does it happen?
Okay, yeah, thank you. I think you're hitting my question there. So
Okay.
most of the owners do not come really like with a use case or something direct. What I've realized in my days, like they often come with the pressure and say, my competition is already using AI, and I've seen them, their employees already testing ChatGPT. They know how this working. They have the first finance workflows already going. Yeah, so vendors mostly saying like copilots and automation AI agents, and then the companies do not really know where to go. So what they say is like, we need AI. Can we automate this? Can ChatGPT do this? Is this allowed? Especially, is this allowed? Which like is the main question we always get asked. Which AI tool can I use and how can I use this?
Okay.
So
And yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, yeah, for sure. It moves a bit from the tool thinking first into the process thinking, but yeah.
Okay. Coming to the overall approach, right? So you've had experience with lots of customers. So what do you think are those processes that are actually good candidates for AI automation, especially within, let's say, the Swiss SMEs and probably even larger organizations within the Swiss sector? And what do you feel that these companies should not be using AI at all for certain use cases?
Okay,
I
I think
think
that's a good question. Thank you, Florian.
I think I will take over that question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, This is a good one. There is like a lot that is done manually, and first we see like, of course, AI is good for processes that are manually repetitive. It needs some kind of judgment. This is very
Mm-hmm.
good. There's like a benefit. Some stuff you can do with software that is clearly rule based. Okay, if X then Y, if A then B. But AI, with AI you can do more like intuition and so on. You still need to check it, of course, because there is an error rate. So I would go for some quite for some topics that are repetitive and that needs some kind of like a decision. And now let's make it clear. This is all very vague. So
Mm-hmm.
there might be some paper coming in, and you need to do some classification. For example, accounting is a typical one we've been looking at. You see like some receipts, and you need to book them into your ERP for the accounting part, for tax reasons. So typically you get a receipt and you need to type it in. You need to see, okay, this is like furniture. I need to book it for furniture and give it the right code. And this is a typical one. It's always the same. There are some edge cases, and this is good for AI. So you cannot simply use a software because maybe it's more light and you need to recognize like a smaller receipt. Receipts are from hundreds of stores, so you will never cover everything. And this is a very good one for AI. And you take that, and the good part, or especially you need to think, it doesn't replace the human. He still needs to check it because there is some error. Maybe one time Swisscom sells some furniture and not some telecommunication, and we try to cover that, but you still need to have this knowledge. And I would say this is, for example, a good one, or if you're on the PC and kind of, I would say, like feeding a system with typing in from like a workflow, a work order, or you can use AI to simply talk, okay, do me this workflow or do me this work order, and it gives you out everything.
Mm-hmm.
And which one should companies leave alone? I would say it's not from a technical perspective that you need something alone that is not feasible or not doing, not not making or not appropriate to do it, but it's more from like a legal and moral. Like
Mm-hmm.
some decisions should be still based on humans, especially in HR. We've seen some companies that wanted to do something in HR where you really need to judge. And this is like more a moral one, which, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, which ones you should leave alone. And so I would go
Okay.
for HR and business decisions that have like very big consequence. I would
Okay.
still go for a manual
All
decision.
right. Okay. And you mentioned a lot about, analyzing the use case, right? Before you decide which are the things that you need to adopt, and then which are the ones that you need to just let go of and not worry about implementing AI. So, what does a real AI readiness check look like, right, for an SME when they come into you? So, what else do you sort of examine before you recommend any solution?
I think before I recommend any solution, I would especially go for seeing where the company is. We've
Mm,
started implementing right before we've even analyzed, and it's not good. First, you really need to see like where the company is, what it has been doing, how is the data stored, where is it stored, what are the processes, and you need to see like which SOPs, like standard operating procedure they have, if they have it or not, and which are applied how much.
mm,
And you don't want to spend a lot of energy, time, and money on something that you're doing one time a year. So you really want to pick like the workflows that are done regularly. So first we check, okay, where is it going? What are the processes? And then we identify one thing. We say like, okay, this is an interesting one. We see it will be doing or it's done a lot of times. People are maybe even annoyed of it. Nobody
mm.
really likes it. It uses a lot of effort. And we have that. We still not start like implementing. We say like, okay, let us check the feasibility. Can we
Okay.
do it? what data is coming, what is the person doing, what do we need to automate, and then we check that and after we do a little proof of concept. We say, okay, here we have a little program that is going. It clearly shows that it can be working, and then the next step is really implementing it with like implementation, with security, legal stuff, and we clarify those questions at a later part or at that point. So first we see like, where is the company? What can we do? We do a little proof of concept and then we implement it.
Okay. And you mentioned about data, right? Now, how important is this data, especially for companies where data needs to reside within the Swiss hosted AI infrastructure, and especially around this Federal Data Protection Act that's coming. It keeps getting updated every day. Uh, Lucas, what do you think might be the use cases that you guys encounter almost every single day?
Yeah, the importance of the hosting is just one part, because when you have solutions, it's not just hosting, also like governance. So hosting is the one part we definitely have to look at for companies that do financial data, legal documents, and employee data, like Florian mentioned before already, high risk data. So the question is not just where we host data, or more also where does the data go? How is the documentation behind? Do we have privacy by design? Do we have secure pipelines? So hosting is one point, but it can really separate. So it can mean a Swiss hosting is doing the hosting, but it's not secure. So we have to balance between all those lines from the EOI Act, from the REF, and our goal is really just to do privacy by design, and try to work with those providers who are most secure.
Okay.
But so yeah, it's basically useful, but hosting is not governance. So in the end,
Fair. All right. And probably coming to one of my last questions, right? People come to you, you do the implementation, and then you hand over the product to the company. Now comes, how do you actually get employees to use this particular product that you guys have implemented? How difficult or challenging has it been in terms of training, in terms of asking people to implement it, or rather use it rather?
super challenging, of course. Like we expected, as we come from technical backgrounds, and we have doing a couple workshops and trainings the last years. But for us, it was first important to understand how to break down. So the first approach is schooling and show them their first quick win. So we bring them in, say, hey, we analyze, we talk to them, see what is before, we take what is right there, and then we measure it basically with the adoption they have. So we really go and pick one simple workflow they dislike and show them the quick win, so they get the enjoyment to work further, and not like making any big bang. So we help them to define where data goes. We explain them the gaps they need. We show them that they see us as expert. And yeah, so when they see time and measure and errors been reduced, like yeah, time has been saved, speed improves, then it goes easy. But on the first start, it's like Florian said, it's a big barrier. We have the employer resistance. So the schooling and get them comfortable with really using in their day, we prefer doing AI like workshops, or what we call them workstations, a bit more over classic schooling. So we really go there and want to let them try to use the workflow. We watch them use the tool, and 3 months to 6 months later, there is always a re-interview, how the people feel before and after. So it's a lot about communicating transparent to the employer to get this adoption handling. Otherwise, it's not really going to happening.
All right. I can understand the challenges that you must be facing there. Yeah. All right. And yeah, so we have come to the end of the show. And thank you so much, Florian and Lucas, for your
Thank
time.
you.
And I wish you all the best for the success of Schnellstart. And yeah, maybe we meet again sometime for another episode where you can probably even discuss about the different use cases and challenges that you might have encountered. Yeah, thank you very much, Lucas and
Thank you as
Florian.
well. Thank you. It was interesting.
Thank you.
Absolute, Suhas. The value you provide for us, that's amazing. And the YouTube channel you're building for Suhas Bhairav Show, I really enjoyed, and we look forward to watch it and see the whole episode. Thank you, Suhas, and see you
Thank you
soon.
very much. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.